Today we're taking a look at one of the most iconic songs in classic rock, Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine. So we're gonna start with the intro. How cool is to have a song that starts with a bass solo? The song is technically in the key of G major, but the whole melodic structure revolves around the D major chord, so it's probably more correct to say that the key is D mixolydian. Reading around, I saw that the song is normally considered to be in the key of D major, but it has a C major chord right away, so to me it makes no sense. Also, on the guitar solo goes to E minor, and that would be a key change, but to me it doesn't feel like it's changing the key. So for me the answer is D mixolydian. The intro is not particularly hard to play, but to make it sound proper, you had to do the slides correctly. It starts with a very happy spelling of a major D triad. Then it's a similar figure over a C chord that includes a non-diatonic note, F, that doesn't belong to the key of G. You might not notice it, but it gives the whole part a little beautiful touch of punk rock. This note here is Duff McKagan's rebellious secret note. It's very common in the music of Guns N' Roses. It's such a cool little detail that I've made a whole video about it. Link in the description. Next is the verse. The first thing to notice is how glued the bass guitar is to the kick. Guitars are playing acoustic style open chords, so it's all up to bass and drums to hold up the vocals. Duff puts little licks on the 3 and 4 of every second bar, giving a little bit of life to the introduction. When the vocals come in, guitars pull out and so does the bass. Plain simple route, except for this cool little octave, a clear reference to funky music. The fills at the end of the verse, with the higher octave following the snare and the lower octave following the kick, are so Duff McKagan. Fantastic. Listen to the combination of Steven Adler's snare drum with a lot of bass frequencies and McKagan's mid-ranges. On the second verse, a beautiful little chromatic scale pushes the last line of the lyrics. Closing the first verse, another trademark McKagan octave run with the lower octaves landing on the snare. This type of run comes clearly from funk music, and Duff himself said that him and Steven were learning a lot of Motown grooves when arranging Appetite for Destruction. I'll never stop saying it, everybody praised Slash and Easy for being the engine of the early Guns N' Roses, but what really sets them apart from the other rock acts of the time, in my opinion, was the rhythm section. Tight, sounding great, and most importantly, very different and creative from what was going on at the time. If you want to know more, check out my rhythm section analysis of Rocket Queen. During the chorus, the band keeps it simple. The bass plays root, slightly punctuated, adding some tasty licks in the gap left by the vocals. That's a perfect example of how the bass should not get in the way of the vocals. You want to do a little lick of the chorus? Find an empty spot. Second verse and first solo feature some more cool little licks, always based on the D major scale. Every lick is a little different from the other and makes the song very fun to play but also hard to memorize. There's too many of them to put them all in the video, but it's impressive to see how much of a variety Duff can bring in using always the same 3 or 4 notes. After the second chorus, the key changes from the cheerful G major to the dark atmosphere of its relative minor, E minor, kinda like in the intro and verse of Crazy Train. During the solo, Duff keeps it simple, using just octaves on the upbeat to add a little spice, first in a descending pentatonic manner, and then ascending. Heard that little triplet? Duff uses a lot of ghost notes. The ending once again uses funky style octaves to take things to an end. With this beautiful feel right at the end, played by all the instruments and the vocals, it's pentatonic at its finest. Played slightly behind on the tempo, it just brings a sense of conclusion to the song. What is really notable about Sweet Child O' Mine is the tone. A lot of attack, very compressed, with a lot of mid-range and a little chorus being the cherry on top. So it's nothing really complicated, hard to play, or particularly significant from a songwriting standpoint. It's more the result of tone, taste, and most importantly, a fantastic feeling with the drummer. Very different from any Bon Jovi or Motley Crue or whatever was going on at the time. Duff McKagan's raw energy and punk element played a key role in developing the sound of Guns N' Roses, and the classic bass line of Sweet Child O' Mine is the perfect combination of melody, a badass tone, and aggressive playing. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and follow me on Instagram.